SpaceX has just unveiled major upgrades that could change everything for Starship's future lunar missions. After months of testing and redesigns, SpaceX engineers may have finally found the key solution to make Starship ready for human landings on the moon. From powerful Raptor engine improvements to advanced thermal protection and reusability upgrades, this next phase is all about pushing toward Flight 12, and possibly the most crucial test before NASA's Artemis mission. So, when exactly will SpaceX's Starship Flight 12 take off, and what game-changing upgrades have been added to make lunar landing a reality? Let's find out. Starship Flight 11 wrapped up nearly 2 weeks ago. The last version 2 ship out of the way with Flight 11 now a raging success. Pad 1 has no further missions to prepare for in its current state. The Pad 1 design of course has just a single quick disconnect for both of those interfaces combined. Yet it's hard not to feel something every time we look back at it. This wasn't just another test. It was one of SpaceX's most impressive milestones to date. As the final flight of the year, Flight 11 delivered an incredible show, deploying dummy Starlink satellites, reigniting engines in space, surviving an intense re-entry, and landing in the best condition we've ever seen. Each mission proves just how quickly SpaceX learns and improves its vehicles. But this milestone also comes with a touch of nostalgia. Flight 11 marks the end of an era. The last mission of Starship version 2, and the final launch from Pad 1 for quite some time. At times it felt like the initial Pad 1 was clinging on for dear life. The first flight showed us how they underestimated the damage that Super Heavy could inflict. But after some upgrades and plenty of refurbishment work between each mission, it made it through this critical early phase of flight testing. The plan is to demolish some of the existing ground infrastructure and convert what is needed now. A flame trench design will replace this, as we see nearby at Pad 2, as well as Launch Complex 39A in Florida. Remember, they can only do a lot of this work once they have a relatively clean slate to start with. Well, the demolition work seemed to begin with the liftoff of Flight 11. Soon, the chopsticks, launch mount, and tank farm will all be upgraded. This overhaul will take around 6 months to a year. That's the next major goal. Proving both stages can be quickly reused, central to SpaceX's plan for high-frequency, low-cost missions. Starship's upper stage has splashed down in the ocean during test flights, helping refine re-entry and descent systems. The ultimate aim, though, is to bring it home to Starbase, caught midair by the Mechazilla Tower arms. Elon Musk says that the first on-site landing could happen as early as 2026. Starship hasn't yet achieved full orbital insertion, a must for Moon and Mars missions. During that time, Starship version 3 flights will ship to the new orbital Launchpad 2. The problem is, no one knows exactly when that first upgraded Starship will take to the skies. To get a clearer idea, let's break it down. Starting with the vehicles themselves, Flight 12 will involve Booster 18 and Ship 39. Both are progressing fast, but can they really be completed in time for a launch later this year? Let's start with Booster 18. Its structure will be assembled from 3 main sections: the forward section, which already includes the integrated hot staging ring, the F-24 section, and the F-34 section. As of August 23, that final F-34 segment was rolled out of the Star factory and moved to the high bay where stacking will take place. The aft section, the one housing 33 Raptor 3 engines, will be stacked last after cryogenic testing is complete. If assembly stays on track, Booster 18 could be moved to the Massey test site by mid to late November for cryogenic testing. That's very possible since Massey's cryo stand was recently fitted with a quick disconnect system last month. Once cryo tests are done, the booster will receive its full set of Raptor 3 engines and wait for Pad B to be ready for its first static fire test. The upgraded megabays now have rotating work platforms and welding robots to keep the process humming along. And there's a new gigabay on the way to make things even faster. Actually, make that 2 gigabays and another Star factory in Florida, basically doubling production capacity. On top of that, SpaceX is building 4 launch pads in parallel, Pad B in Boca Chica, 1 at LC-39A, and 2 more at SLC-37 in Florida. The faster you can test, the faster you can develop. Expanding the McGregor engine test facility would let them run more Raptor engines in parallel, especially the newer Raptor 3. Meanwhile, progress on Ship 39 is also picking up speed. After a long wait, its nose cone has finally been moved into Mega Bay 2, where it's now being joined with the forward dome section. The mid-body segments and internal structures are expected to arrive in the coming weeks. Based on previous Starship version 2 build timelines, SpaceX typically needs about 6 weeks to assemble a complete vehicle. However, since Ship 39 introduces several new design updates and construction methods, engineers will need extra time for inspection and integration, roughly 7 weeks in total. If that schedule holds, we could see a fully stacked Ship 39 by mid to late November. Should SpaceX aim for a Flight 12 launch before the end of the year, cryogenic testing could begin around that same time. The ship's cryo-testing stand at Massey's site is already equipped with its own quick disconnect system, ensuring a smooth process once the vehicle is ready. After cryo tests, Ship 39 will return to Massey for engine installation, followed by a static fire test around mid-December. If everything stays on track, a late December launch window still looks entirely possible. But even if both vehicles are ready, there's still one big question. Is Launchpad 2 ready to launch? Overall construction work at the new pad is moving steadily. In recent weeks, SpaceX has made major progress on the service structure attached to the launch mount. The southern side of its shell is almost complete with just 2 large panels missing near the base. Both lateral sides are nearly done as well, each with only one missing piece: the upper section where the launch tower connects to. The orbital mount has also started receiving outer panels, giving the pad a more complete and flight-ready look. Teams have installed flexible hoses on both quick disconnects which will feed propellants into the booster before liftoff. These QDs are now linked to their protective doors, an essential step for withstanding the extreme exhaust pressure from the Raptor engines during launch. Meanwhile, progress continues on the blast wall that will shield the pad's deluge tank system from exhaust energy. Higher up on the tower, crews are extending the new cable trays toward the ship's QD arm mount, likely preparing for future installation of the actual arm. As for the chopsticks, they've only seen minor work lately with scaffolding still up, mostly for tower access, nothing major to worry about. Interestingly, much of the scaffolding inside the flame trench was recently removed, likely to make space for new heat shielding and reinforcements along the inner walls. With so much still in progress, it's doubtful that Pad 2 will be fully ready within the next month. And that's a problem, because Booster 18 will need to perform its static fire tests there. The recent water deluge tests showed the cooling system is working fine. But the booster quick disconnect, the crucial part that fuels the rocket, might still need more work. Without that, there's no static fire. Still, progress is moving in the right direction. And there's a real chance everything could come together by mid-December. So the first flight of the Starship version 3 era could still happen before the year ends. But honestly, things are still uncertain. Even Elon himself admitted in a recent post, version 3 should be built and tested, maybe flown by end of this year. If he's not sure, it's still too early for anyone to be. If we had to make a guess, Flight 12 would likely lift off on January 17th, exactly 1 year after. Early next year, the company aims to prove key milestones such as orbital insertion, payload deployment, and the successful landing of both stages. Once those objectives are met, the focus will shift toward building and demonstrating the in-space refilling system that'll make lunar and interplanetary missions possible. To accomplish this, a large and steady production rate of Starships will be required, both for tankers and for test vehicles. The increased height of the upcoming Starship version 3, combined with the volume of vehicles that must be produced, makes Gigabay a crucial piece of the puzzle. Its enhanced capacity will enable SpaceX to rapidly construct, test, and iterate new designs without the bottlenecks seen in earlier years. Many in the aerospace community have questioned whether the refilling system is truly achievable. within such a short time frame. But the rapid development of gigabase suggests that SpaceX is not only aware of the challenge, but also actively addressing it through strategic scaling. Ultimately, the success of Gigabay could determine whether Starship's path to the moon remains on schedule. With its completion, SpaceX will gain the manufacturing muscle necessary to produce fleets of Starships, vehicles that will not only serve lunar missions, but also pave the way for Mars exploration and beyond. So, what do you think? Will the rapid progress of Gigabay become the decisive factor in SpaceX's journey to the moon and Mars? SpaceX is clearly entering a new phase with Starship, one that brings humanity closer than ever to returning to the moon. With every upgrade, test, and launch, Starship Flight 12 is shaping up to be the turning point for both SpaceX and NASA's Artemis program. If these new solutions work as planned, the dream of landing humans on the lunar surface could finally become reality. Stay tuned as we follow every step of SpaceX's journey toward the moon and beyond.
And that's about it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, and that's all for today's update. If you enjoyed watching and found it useful, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. And if you want to support our channel and if you want to be up to date, you can become an exclusive member, so click on our perks through the link in the description below. Thanks to watching and see you next time.